Hi, and welcome to Yin Yoga. My name is Angela, and I will be guiding you through your practice today. So, to begin, we're going to come to a kneeling position where you are sitting on your heels. And to help it be more accessible, you may come to put your knees on a blanket, you may sit on a block, or if neither of those is really comfortable, then just come to sit cross-legged. Or any other comfortable seated position. Closing down the eyes and settling in, rebounding from the floor up towards the sky, but relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. And taking a smooth breath in and a smooth breath out. And today we're going to start with something called the three-part Taoist breath. This is a breath that was adapted from Paul Grilly and Susie Grilly. I learned it from Bernie Clark. So to begin, we're going to stay in that kneeling position, and we're going to bring our arms by our sides. And on our first inhale, you're going to lift your arms up over your head. And as you exhale, you're going to bring your hands behind your head and push them out to the sides of the room. This is a stiff muscular movement. You may drop your head a little bit. Inhale, bend the elbows, bringing the fingers to the shoulders. Lift your heart, fill your lungs, and look up slightly. And as you exhale, push your palms forward with stiff fingers and hands. As your hands go forward, round your back, bringing your chin to your chest. On the third inhale, palms reach up towards the sky, arching the back. And then as you exhale, you forward fold, finding child's pose. Breathing here. And then on your next inhale again, arms rise, lifting up over your head. And as you exhale, bringing your hands behind your head and pushing them out to the sides of the room. Inhale, bend the elbows, bringing the fingers towards the shoulders. Lift your heart, fill your lungs, and look up slightly. And then as you exhale, push your palms forward with stiff fingers and hands. As you go up, turn the palms up towards the sky. And lift your heart and your chest, and then hands go down, forward, rounding your back, finding child's pose. And taking a breath here, and on your next inhale again, we rise, hands come up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, you bring your hands behind your heads and push them out to the sides of the room. Inhale. Bending the elbows, bringing the fingers to the shoulders, and then as you exhale, push your palms forward, stiff fingers and hands, and allowing your back to round. Chin to your chest, inhale. Turn the palms up, reach your straight arms up over your head, arching your back and looking up towards the sky, and then as you exhale, forward fold into child's pose. Pausing here, breathing here. Smooth breath in and smooth breath out. And to begin class today, we're going to start with a hip opener. We're going to come into butterfly. So if you have any challenges with your knees, go ahead and grab your blocks if you have any tightness in your hamstrings. You're going to bring the soles of your feet together, and you're going to find a forward fold or a sliding forward towards your feet. And again, if you need extra support, you can either put a foam roller or a bolster, or you can put a block under each knee. So this will just help you to access the posture more effectively. The other option, if you have any pain in your back as you're doing this posture, take it in a reclined position. So come to lie on your back and then take butterfly and just allow your legs to fall open, letting gravity do the work. So whatever path you choose, whatever version of this posture serves you most today, which may be different tomorrow and it may be different than yesterday, choose that version and then find a way that you can just melt into this posture. Taking a smooth breath in and a smooth breath out. And to begin class, I'd like to talk about the 3 principles of yin yoga. So these are the kind of the golden rules that we follow as we practice yin. And the first rule, or the first expectation, is to come into the pose at an appropriate depth. So you want to come in and find your edge. Edge meaning it's not too much sensation, but it's not zero sensation. So we want to find that sweet spot in between. And knowing that there will be times where that sensation that you found, it may start to dull, and so you may need to readjust to find that sensation again. But knowing that this particular type of practice is not about moving into that deepest sensation that you can find to begin. It's about finding that kind of 60% or 50% place, sometimes even 40%, and then little by little, allowing gravity, allowing your body to open and creep, it starts to stretch and allows you to move further into the posture. So after we have found our edge, we will shift into the second expectation or rule of yin. But before we do that, what I'd like for you to do is slowly unravel. So very slowly start to come out of the posture. And when I mean slowly, I mean definitely not fast. And just allow your legs to slowly stretch out in front of you. Perhaps you take a little bit of a back bend. You can roll your legs from side to side. Windshield wipe them if that calls to you. And then once you've found that nice release, we're going to move into our next posture, which is half shoelace. So for half shoelace, we're really targeting the hamstrings, the backs of the legs. So if you find that this particular version of shoelace is not accessible to you, just take that other leg and bring the sole of the foot towards your inner thigh. So if stacking the knees on top of each other is not an available version today, then let's find one that is available and one that serves you. The purpose is finding that sensation in the back of the leg, and however your posture looks to attain that, it really doesn't matter. The piece of it is that you are doing a posture that's serving you and serving its purpose. So our second principle in yin yoga is to find stillness. So once we've found that edge that's not too much and not too little, knowing that there's going to be space still to move further into the posture or move out of the posture, we're going to then find stillness. And the stillness first begins with the body. So that means we're refraining from fidgeting, we're not moving in and out of the posture, we're not getting up to go get a sip of water and then coming back down to the mat. We're really settling in to this posture, refraining from any movements. And when we do that, when we have that stillness in the body, we can then move and address the other pieces of stillness that we can cultivate in this practice. And so the next piece is the stillness of the breath. Now, stillness of the breath does not mean we're holding our breath. Stillness of the breath means that we are finding a quiet, peaceful, smooth breath. It may be shallow, it may be deep, it might be an ocean breathing, or it might not. But the idea is to find that quiet, smooth, peaceful breath. And when we find that quiet, smooth, peaceful breath, we are able to help that third piece of stillness. And that third piece of stillness is when we are able to quiet the mind. So we're going to take a couple more breaths here. But we're going to wait to talk about that quiet mind for our next posture that we shift into. So as you're ready, ever so slowly, start to unwind your spine, unrolling, unraveling. And then as you come out of the posture, lifting your chest if that's available. And if you need to extend that top leg to just kind of unbend the knee and give it a little bit of reprieve, please feel free to do so. But if not, you're going to shift your weight forward, and then you're going to bring that bottom knee underneath to meet the top knee. So we have our knees stacked on top of each other. Now, if a knee pops up, you can do one of two things. If it's not causing you any pain, then you can simply leave it as it is. Or you can take a block, and with the block, you can wedge it underneath the leg to support that knee. Another option that takes kind of the whole knee equation out would be to lie on your back and take a figure 4. And again, none of these postures are wrong. None of these postures are a lesser posture. None of them are a more advanced posture. They simply are the posture version that serves you, the version that allows you to gain access to those areas of the body that we're working to open. So you're finding your edge in this posture. And then you're starting to find that stillness in the body. Noticing if you've gone too deep, you might find that you crave fidgeting and moving around because it's uncomfortable to be that deep in the posture. So my suggestion is to back off just a touch so that you can find that stillness, and then perhaps you'll melt into that space in a few moments. And then once you've found that stillness of the body, we then shift and we find that smooth, quiet, peaceful breath. And then from there, we look to create and cultivate stillness in the mind. Now, this stillness in the mind, it's quite challenging. And oftentimes we have monkey brain and we have thoughts that are scattered and jumping in and out of our mind. And our breath is kind of the back door to connecting with our mind and calming our mind. So when we use our breath, when we focus on the smoothness of our breath, when we focus on the peacefulness of our breath, we actually are able to help quiet, pacify, calm the mind. Now, when we are on our mat, especially practicing yin, there may be many times that you find that your mind is jumping and screaming and running and doing, and it's challenging to get it into a space where it's calm. And that's perfectly fine. A lot of times what we cultivate in this practice, it doesn't show up until after practice, until after we walk off our mat. So it's not about being calm in the posture or during the practice necessarily, but see if the calm follows after the practice. So coming out of this posture, we're going to slowly walk our hands back to our sides. And then we're going to lift our heart, lift our head. And then to unravel our legs, we're going to lean back so that we have enough space to unravel them, and then extend them out in front of us. You can bounce them up and down, roll them side to side. If you're craving a slight back bend, you can bring your hands behind you, lift your heart a touch for that back bend. And do any other movements that call to you, that feel like a nice release from this posture. And then we're going to move into the second side. So taking that second side of half shoelace, you're going to find your version, whatever version that is. Use the props that you need to help you find that stillness and that support. When we use props to support our bones so that things aren't just hanging, when our bones are supported, our muscles are able to relax. And when our muscles are able to relax, that's when the stretching truly happens. So we're looking in many different ways to help to relax the body. We're looking to relax the body with stillness, with support from the props, with our breath, and then working to find that quiet in our mind as well so that we can just simply be in this moment and we can just melt into this experience. So taking a smooth breath in here, and even if it calls to you, you can open your mouth and exhale a clearing breath. And then the last principle of yin, this principle is the magic ingredient, and that's time. So spending time in the posture, that might be anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. Spending time in the posture, in this stillness, this is what really allows the magic and the opening to happen. So in a yin class, we're looking to hold the posture at our edge, not too much, not too little, for a longer period of time. Whereas in a yang class, we look to hold a posture for a shorter period of time, but it's a much deeper, or there's more sensation in that posture than what we would typically feel in a yin class. And both versions serve the body in a healthy way. But if we were to hold a posture with an intense load, it would end up being too much and we would injure ourselves for a yin class. So the yang and yin styles both serve us in finding balance in our bodies. It's just important not to mix or switch the principles of the yin and yang practices with each other. So we've had our time in this particular posture. We start to walk ourselves back up to seated, unraveling very slowly, moving slowly out of the posture to feel the rebound. That's kind of the fourth unspoken yin principle, which I think is the most important part. And that rebound, that coming back out of the posture, that's what keeps me coming back for more. So we're going to shift into that full shoelace now. So that bottom leg, you're going to bring that kneecap under the other. And remember, you can take a figure 4 if your knees are just not feeling this. And if you're just feeling a little extra yin, you can also take a reclined figure 4. Remembering that whatever you choose to do today doesn't mean that you're going to do that same version tomorrow or that same version in a week. You do what serves you here and now in this moment. And the body, when you use that wisdom and that intuition to do what serves you right now, the body responds in a joyous way because there's now a connection between your present being and your body. Just taking a smooth breath in here. Opening your mouth, exhale. Another smooth breath in. Perhaps even drawing a little more breath in. And then opening your mouth to exhale. Now, there is a free pass to come out of any posture, which technically it's important to come out of any posture if you feel like you need to for whatever reason. But this particular reason to come out of a posture is pain. So if at any point in this practice you are experiencing pain meaning sharp sensations, stabbing sensations, shooting, electrical, heat, zingers, pulling, any type of pain that you feel, it's important to come out immediately. So we're going to, right now, slowly unwind, exit out of that shoelace, really enjoy that nice rebound from stretching our hips. Perhaps you felt it in your inner thighs, your hip flexors, all kinds of areas that you may have felt it. And then our next posture that we're going to shift into is going to be Sphinx. So to come into Sphinx, you're going to take your forearms and you're going to place them on your mat, and you're going to bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Palms are going to be on the floor. Now, as you lift your heart up, if you find that this is too much compression on your lower back, if it feels like it's too much, then just move your elbows away from your shoulders forward towards the top of your mat. You can even stack your forearms on top of each other, and you can put your forehead on your forearms. Now, if you find that you're in this posture and you want a little bit more, then you can add blocks. You can put your forearms on blocks that will add height, that will enhance the compression in your lower spine. Or you can lift your legs off the floor by bending your knees, and the soles of your feet and your toes point towards the ceiling. So these are options. But whatever you choose, find that edge, find that place where it's not too much, it's just right. And then from there, find your stillness. Stillness in the body. Stillness in the breath. A quiet, smooth inhale. And a smooth exhale. And then we find that stillness possibly in the mind. Now, if it calls to you, if you want a little more juice, you can bring your hands to the outside of your mats, turn your hands outward just a little bit, and we're going to come into seal. So again, if Sphinx is enough, then just stay in Sphinx. But again, if you feel like you want a little more juice, you can come up into seal. So this is quite a bit of compression in the lower spine, which compression is good when it's done in a healthy way, in a healthy amount. And then as you're ready, knowing that there is going to be a sense of fragility in that spine, you're going to very, very slowly lower yourself down to the mat. And then one of your knees, you're going to slide it towards your elbow on the floor. Now, if this feels good to you, you can stay here. Or you can bend your knees and you can rock your feet from side to side, kind of like upside down windshield wipers. Or, if you prefer, you can come onto your hands and knees and find a child's pose. So again, picking which version of a rebound, of a counter posture or counter movement serves you. Perhaps even taking a couple cat-cows. And then as you're ready, we're going to come to meet on our backs, on our mat, in a reclined position. And from here, we're going to move into a spinal twist. So we're going to bring the knees towards the chest, and then we're going to take them to the left side. Now, if your knees do not meet the floor, that simply means that you bring the floor to your knees. So you get a block, or you get a blanket, a bolster, and you allow your shins to rest on that blanket or bolster or block. You might even feel comfortable putting a blanket in between your legs or a block in between your legs for that twist. In addition, if that opposite shoulder, that back shoulder pops up off the floor, you can take a blanket and you can wedge it underneath that shoulder so that it feels supported. Again, when it's able to have something to rest on, it allows our body to relax. It allows us to move out of that sympathetic nervous system and moving into that parasympathetic, that rest and digest place. And then once you've found that beautiful place, hopefully this twist feels luxurious, come to find your stillness. Noticing what you feel, where you might feel it. And then return to your breath. Perhaps taking note to the exhales. Noticing how with each exhale you take, your body becomes a little more relaxed. It lets go. The yin side of the breath, the exhale. Now for this last part of this twist, I'm not going to talk, just so that you can move into your own space of this practice. And as you're ready, lengthening your inhale, starting to offer movements, bringing the soles of your feet back to the floor and coming back into a neutral position. If you want to take the backs of your knees and draw your knees towards your chest, you can do that. Or if you'd like to take a happy baby, whatever calls to you. And then, as you like, bring the legs to the other side for your second side of your twist. Remembering that if you need support under your legs, take it. If you need support under your shoulder, place that blanket or a pillow underneath that shoulder for support. You can have your arms by your sides, or you can take them up past your head. Now, sometimes for some people, when you take those hands up past your head, you may start to feel a tingling kind of in your shoulder and in your arm. That's not an ideal thing to have. So either move your arm back down, or you can take a block or a blanket and place it up in the area where your head is, kind of towards your head. And then you can rest your forearms or your arms on that blanket, on that block. And that might help to take that tingling away. Taking a smooth breath in, a smooth breath out. And as you're ready, starting to move the legs back to center. If it calls to you, drawing the knees towards the chest, or bringing your knees even tighter towards your forehead, tightening every muscle in your body, and then releasing them all. Then, as you're ready, coming to find yourself in a comfortable seated position. Taking a smooth breath in now. Perhaps it's the longest, deepest breath you've taken so far today. And then accompanying that smooth breath in with a long, long, smooth breath out. One more smooth breath in. And smooth breath out. I thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.